Now we're going to practice tpba 2, Transdisciplinary Play-Based Assessment, second edition. This tool, tpba 2, was developed by Dr. Linder in 2008. It measures students' development in 4 domains: cognitive, language, social, emotional, and sensory motor skills. You can do this through observation in a highly structured play environment. So actually you have a recording form with you and you're going to do some observation and you're going to mark on the recording form as you observe some behaviors. This tool is for students age between birth to 6 years old. This tool is very frequently used at school and clinics because it is an observation-based measurement, which means you don't have to pull out your student for assessment. Also, as you don't have to pull out your student for assessment and you just observe students' play and other behaviors, many teachers choose to use this tool when their students' first language is not an English. So as you can see in this example, the example is from one of my research participants. The child is from Korea, and the child's first language is not English. So the teacher chose to use tpba, observation-based measurement. So this is a page of the child's IEP report. The purpose of tpba 2 is to answer the following questions. What behaviors or skills does the child typically demonstrate spontaneously with no assistance or guidance? What is the best the child is able to do with and without assistance? What types of supports or adaptations lead to better quality or higher levels of behaviors or skills? And what, if any, are the child's special abilities, delays, or disabilities? tpba 2 evaluation can be done by 2 to 4 individuals such as psychologists, ST, OT, general educator, special educator, nurse or doctor, and or social worker. Now let's talk about how to use this measurement. There are several steps and materials you have to use. The first one is observation guideline. So you are going to have sufficient observation, and before, during, and after observation, you are going to use the observation guideline as reference. There are 4 domains and several subdomains. You're going to check off or circle behaviors or skills observed. So you will use a guideline. And then you can write the observation notes. I would say that's optional. And then the last step is age table. After observations, you are going to look at the age range of the skills observed, and you will find the skills within the highest age at which the child is observed to function, and then it will tell the age equivalent in each domain and subdomain. So we're going to take a look at the form right now. As I mentioned before, there are 4 domains and several subdomains. And what we will practice today is emotional and social development, which is the first domain. And under this domain, emotional social development, there are several subdomains. First one is emotional expression. Second one is emotional style and adaptability. And third one is regulation of emotions and arousal states. So let's take a look at how the observation guideline looks like. So this is the observation guideline for the first domain, emotional and social development. And this is the first step. We are going to use observation guidelines, right? So under emotional and social development domain, you see the first subdomain, which is emotional expression, right? And then you are going to answer to each of the question. How does the child express emotion? You can identify strength, and examples of behavior of concerns, and ready for. This is readiness. And then if you have any comments, you can leave that comments in the notes section. Direction here, record the child information, name, caregiver, birthday, age, assessment date, person completing this form. This observation guideline provide common strength, examples of behavior of concern, and ready for next steps. As you observe the child, circle, highlight, or place a check mark next to the items listed under these three categories that correspond to the behaviors you observe. List any additional observations in the notes column. Experienced tpba users may opt to use only the tpba 2 observation notes as a method for collecting information during the assessment instead of the observation guideline. But we're new to this form, so I would say we are going to use this guideline and we're not going to use the observation notes. So I would say that will be the optional. And then the form continues. So I scan whole chapters of observation guideline for the emotional and social development domain. Okay, once you're done using observation guideline, you can use observation notes. But I would say this is optional for us because we're new to this tool tpba2. So I would recommend you to use the observation guideline instead of observation notes. But if you want to use it, it's still a good tool. So what you're going to do is you're going to provide the summary for each of the subdomain under this big domain, emotional social development. You can provide a summary for each subdomain. So this is a last step. We can use age table, and this is age table for emotional and social development domain. So let me read the directions first. Based on the observation recorded on the tpba observation guideline and or tpba2 observation note, review the age table to determine the age level that most closely matches the child's performance. It may be helpful to circle items on the age table that the child can do. If items are circled across multiple age levels, find the child's age level by finding the mode. Determine which age level has the most circled item. Age levels after 12 months, 1 year represent ranges rather than individual months and are preceded by. If the most circled items appeared in one of these age levels, consider the child age level to be the month shown. If the most circled items appear in the by 21 month level, the child's age level for that subcategory is 21 months. And you see the notes, the emotional style adaptability subcategory is not included in this age table. This subcategory helps user observe qualitative performance but is not related to the child's level. Notes, second notes, there are no 10 and 11 month levels for the emotional and social domain because those months do not have specific associated with milestones. So let's take a look at the form. So you are going to find the age level, the right age level for each of the subdomains. So you're going to start from the child's age. So if your child is 4 months old, you're going to read that item here. If you think this item is if you think that this item matches with your child's current developmental level, then this can be the child's age. developmental age. If not, you're going to go back to the previous age level and read the description. And if this description matches the child's development, then this can be the child's age level, developmental age level. Does it make sense? So you are going to do this matching things across the subdomain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subdomains. So you are going to read and find the appropriate age, developmental age level for each of the subdomain. Okay, once we're done with observation, we want to use this summary form to report the assessment result. So let me read the directions first. For each of the subcategories below, shown in a 1 to 9 point goal attainment scale, circle the number that indicates the child's developmental status using findings from the tpba2 observation guidelines or tpba2 observation notes for this domain. Next, consider the child's performance in relation to same-age peers by comparing the child's performance with the tpba2 age table. Use the age table to arrive at the child's age level for each subcategory. Follow directions on the age table. Then circle AA, above average, T, typical, W, watch, C, concern, by calculating percentage delay. And if a child's age level is lower than chronological age, you can use this formula here. And if child's age is greater than chronological age, then you can use this formula to calculate how many percentage the child's above from the same age group peers. To calculate CA, chronological age, subtract the child's birthday from the assessment date and round up or down as appropriate. When subtracting days, take into consideration the number of days in the month. 28, 30, 31. So we are going to use this table and we are going to determine the level of child's ability as observed in the functional activities. So you can mark for AATWC for each subcategory. So now you can take a look at the summary form. It has page number from 186 to 188. And then once they're done, once the evaluation team member done with their observation and evaluation, they summarize their observation data indicating strength, concern, and area of readiness for each domain and prepare their final report. So this is a sample report that are prepared after the use of tpba2. As you see in the sources of information, tpba2 was used with other tools, right? And I scanned the whole page of sample report and it's in your PDF packet. So if you want to know more about how to prepare the result report for caregivers after the use of tpba2, you can take a quick look at that sample report. Now let's practice. The purpose of this practice, again, is to get familiar with the assessment tool, testing items, and process. So we are going to use your target child for your final project. And using the child's information, you can fill out emotional and social development domain. You see the PDF attached, right? And if you are working with a child who is older than 6 years old, you can use an imaginary child to practice, okay? And what you're gonna do is complete the observation guide, age table, and summary form, and you are going to upload the completed summary form to the Blackboard to prove you complete this practice. Are we good? Okay. Simple note for tpba tool: when you compute students' chronological age for this tool, tpba2, you can subtract the child birthday from the assessment date and round up or down, and you will have a month form, like 29 months.